Okay, thank you, Jose, for the introduction. And hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here presenting this very important topic for everybody as a society. I mean, for me, as a motorcycle rider, I take this topic very, very seriously, and it's an honor to take part of this mission. So what I am going to present today is not the ultimate solution to the problem. There are many solutions. There are many different ways, different avenues to tackle this problem. So what I am going to present today is which steps have we taken already at EuroNCAP, and which steps are we going to take in the coming years to tackle, to reduce the motorcyclist accidents in Europe. And the Vision 2030 document is a document that you can find in our website. I invite you all to have a look at it. It summarizes our future plans, our plans for the coming 10 years to tackle safety in many different areas, from a passenger car safety point of view, commercial vehicle safety point of view with our truck program starting this year. PTW safety is also in our agenda. This is what I am going to present today. And also shared and autonomous mobility. This is a bit more for the future. I'm not going to enter into details of what has been presented already by other colleagues. This is the data that the European Commission put together for 2021. What is clear from this picture is that we really have a problem. The problem is still there, and it's a really severe problem, right? Motorcyclist accidents represent a very big share of accidents in Europe, and it's very impressive to me to see that it's kind of half-half. The first half is crashes involving other collision partners, so car to motorcyclists, for example, and the rest of the accidents are just riders killing themselves alone on the road, right? So that's it's a very difficult problem, and I'm not sure if we will ever get to zero. I think it's very difficult to get to zero, but definitely we can do our best to reduce it as much as possible. Some observations that have been already pointed out by other colleagues yesterday: motorcycles are affordable, they represent the concept of freedom. They give access to mobility to people that have low income. They have low carbon emission. So motorcycles are good, right? And I love motorcycles myself, and I really believe that with sufficient measures we can do a good thing from a safety point of view. So we need training, we need enforcement, we need infrastructure, we need vehicle safety from both the car and the motorcycle itself, and also protective equipment. So all these angles are part of the solution. The structure of this presentation and what we have in mind at EuroNCAP is a kind of a three-pillar approach. First of all is the ADAS, Advanced Driver Assistance Systems, that can prevent situations, safety-critical situations. So for example, when you lose focus on the road, when the unexpected happens, these are systems that are there to help you when you need them, right? Connectivity is a bit maybe a view towards the future. It is not yet clear, for me at least, how connectivity can help when we already have quite capable onboard systems. The current state of the art for ADAS is quite capable already, but nevertheless we don't close the door to see what connectivity can do to increase safety for cars and for motorcycles as well. And also ARAS, so Advanced Rider Assistance Systems. So for example, corner ABS is a system that definitely will add safety to the rider. So going into the detail on these measures, when it comes to ADAS, we took a significant step back from 2023. We incorporated car to motorcyclist scenarios. in our program. So we are testing already vehicles, what is the capability of these vehicles to avoid or reduce mitigate the severity of accidents against motorcyclists from a car perspective through a wide variety of scenarios. So car-to-car rear stationary, car-to-car rear moving, turn across path, and the crossing scenario will be introduced in a couple of years. So definitely systems that will be, for sure, adding safety and protecting motorcyclists. And the Muse project was where it all began, right? Back in 2017, and for 2 years, all these scenarios were being developed with the outcome that we have today in our protocols. Yeah, here you have a few schematics about how these protocols are looking like, all the different scenarios that we are taking into account for the test and assessment of the most sold vehicles across Europe. Every single vehicle we test will go across these scenarios. And these scenarios represent a big share in the points to have the 5 stars on safety. And then we also have the assisted driving program, which has been launched this year. So this is under the scope of level 2 systems. So the combination of adaptive cruise control and lane centering, and how are those systems taking into account motorcyclists. So we have even more critical situations like the car to motorcyclist cut out, car to motorcyclist cut in, and even some scenarios in which we have introduced robustness, right? So here the main collision partner is the motorcyclist, but we put another vehicle in front just in case the sensing will have an issue to recognize who is who. Right here as well we have another situation. So always trying to step up the requirements when it comes to collision avoidance. Up next, well, like I have said, we will have additional scenarios in 2026 for car to motorcyclist scenarios as a part of our 5-star rating program for cars. Vans will also have to fit these systems by standard to get the maximum rating in 2026. And for our truck program, trucks will also have to fit as a standard system that are avoiding accidents with motorcyclists from 2027. Connectivity, I'm not going to enter too much into detail here because Hennes will definitely give you a good overview of what connectivity can do for motorcyclist safety. Just telling that Secure project led by UTAC last year put together a few scenarios that could potentially add safety to motorcyclists, to motorcycle safety. And here we have a potential timeline of technology adoption for car-to-part PTW technology that can prevent accidents by means of vehicle-to-everything. A lot has been said already. This is the third pillar, Advanced Rider Assistance Systems, ARAS. So maybe you could argue, what is EuroNCAP doing here? EuroNCAP is about safer cars and not about safer bikes. But definitely we think that motorcycles are part of are a big part of the problem in Europe. And we think that at least it's good to give consumers an overview of what these technologies are about, which bikes are fitting these systems as standard, and how these systems can help you as a rider to prevent accidents in a wide variety of situations. There are technical challenges, for example, the big diversity of vehicles that we have in the fleet. Of course, the complexity of the integration, these systems are not the same when they are fitted in cars than in motorcycles. The PTW dynamics is a really complex issue. A bike is not the same as a car, again, not the same animal. These systems are mostly fitted in expensive motorbikes. It's not always the case, but as a rule of thumb, that is the current situation. And how riders are going to accept these systems, that's also a big question. So well, just very simple overview of what these advanced rider assistance systems can be about. So we have maybe a comfort system, adaptive cruise control, can be there for comfort, but it can also be there to help you when you need it and you lose focus. Speed limiter, just the normal speed limiter that you set at your own will, it definitely adds, for me as a rider, I value these systems a lot. Equal is something that I think adds an enormous value. When you have an accident in the bike and you will have emergency services on the spot within 10 minutes or 15. I mean, every bike should be equipped with Equal for me, no doubt. I will pay the extra money for this system, no doubt. And then, of course, you have ABS, corner ABS with the most sophisticated version, blind spot monitoring, traction control, for collision warning. These systems are there to help you when you need them the most. Last but not least, I just want to provide an overview of what our future plans are. So we're going to start a new working group this year in EuroNCAP with all our members, in which we are going to try to tackle the issue of PTW safety. We will make a market, a safety campaign in which we will understand the ways to inform consumers about what the systems are, how do they provide value, and which bikes are having these systems as standard. And if not as standard, how much money you need to pay to get them in your bike. So this is it from my side. Thank you very much, and you can reach out to me if you have any questions.
Thank you, Adriano. Since Adriano has to take a plane in Barcelona in few hours, and just to allow time enough to drive to Barcelona, always fulfilling the speed limits, I'll just go through and ask you just one single question, and after that, please feel free to leave when you need it. Just about crash results in the EuroNCAP test. How have the vehicle assessed so far by EuroNCAP responded in the car-to-motorcycle crash avoidance test? It's a quite interesting question, and we are pleased to hear results.
Yeah. Hola. Yeah, so last year we assessed something like 25 cars. It was not a really busy year. This year we will assess something like 40 cars, and next year something like 70 cars. So next year is going to be really hectic for us. And all these cars will go across the car-to-motorcycle scenarios that we have, among many other scenarios. So far, I was looking at some data earlier this week about how cars have performed in this scenario so far. And generally, it's good. Generally, the cars that we have assessed so far have demonstrated to be effective at avoiding, not even mitigating, but avoiding the collision. There are a few exceptions. The most difficult accident scenario is the turn across path. So a situation in which you are making a left turn and there is a motorcyclist oncoming on the other lane. This is a difficult, from a sensing point of view, the crash avoidance system is having a challenge to detect the oncoming motorbike and avoiding the situation at the last moment. So some cars have been struggling with that particular situation, but definitely there is a big incentive in points to get the 5 stars. So we have seen that manufacturers have been really serious when it comes to adopting these technologies. And moving forwards, we will, like I said before, in 2026, we will incorporate a new scenario, which is the crossing scenario. And this will step even further the requirements for this kind of system. So long story short, so far so good, with a few exceptions. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and please feel free to leave when you need it, and our recognition to EuroNCAP for the big effort doing during the last 10 or 20 years. So thank you very much.